Hello, my friends, and welcome back to part 4 of the never-ending painting. I had a lot of technical difficulties with parts 1, 2, and 3. I won't go into detail, but I was ready to chuck it all. But it came together finally, and we're back on track. So let me bring this up a little closer so you can get a better look at what's going on so far. I think I'm about 95% done with the head. I did add the little crest on my off camera because, to be honest, I thought I lost parts 1, 2, and 3, and I just went rogue. So anyway, I did have one nice little thing happen. I spritzed my palette with water and covered it with press and seal, and even these little tiny piles of paint remained workable overnight. So I'm very happy with that. So thank you, Jean, for telling me about press and seal. She uses it on her cups of paint to maintain them, and I thought, well, I'll see how it works on the palette, and it did. Okay, enough chit chat. Let's get to work. I think I'm gonna do the branches. Now I'm going to mix up some burnt sienna, and all of this pine green to get a nice rich brown. Oh, you know what? I did add a little black to my palette because I wanted to see if I could see much of a difference, and it's nice to have. So I'm going to model a little bit of that in there. And taking this number 2 flat brush, load it up. And let's see, here's a foot and here's a foot, so I've got to have him sitting on something. I want to add to that to make it interesting. And I want to go across this upward movement of the pour just to break it up a little bit. So just do that. I want it to just kind of go away. I don't want it to be anything too pronounced. We'll bring something over here. Go into the white. I don't want to draw a lot of attention to it, but I am going to touch it up a little bit. Just kind of hit and miss with some white mixed with the mix. I like that. Actually, I like that. I don't have any yellow on my palette. well, since I don't have yellow on my palette, I'll go darker. And make that burnt sienna my light tone. Around my focal point, I have, more contrast, and I can let it kind of fade out to lighter tones, lighter values, so it's not so noticeable. It's going to take 6 videos if I don't move on. I just keep fussing, but this is what I do. Okay, I'm going to stop for now. Stop, 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 stop. Okay. What next? Let's finish up the blue part, the tail there, and his back. So, what did I do yesterday? I should have watched the video again. Blue, some white, some violet. Violet tones it down. It's still blue, but it's neutralized a bit. White will gray it. And it's darker on that back edge there and a bit of the side, so I'll lay this color down and just kind of indicate the pattern. This is way in the background, so there's not going to be much detail, but they do have very distinct markings on their tail. And then they have a lot of white, actually, long, I think. I should have made more reference photos than just this one, because I'm kind of guessing here. But I think they have, bits of white markings as well. We'll just pretend they do. I think that's a feather there. So I think the tip of their tail is white. I'm not going to see it on this background though, so I'm going to gray it down. Oh well, I'm not going to worry about it. I've got it. dark blue area back here. Very dark. Maybe this is when I'll take some of that black, a little bit of black, add it to the blue. That's a nice, rich, dark color. Darken up that section of the neck I was working on the other day, yesterday. Into straight white and just dab on some feather tips. Okay, and I think I'm seeing light in the background there. I have to differentiate between the tail and his back. So I'm lightening up the base of his tail. And I'll darken up the top of his back, if that makes sense. I may return to that, but I may not. Okay, let's get to the chest area. There's a lot of gray. It's very little, really. This is the only really white part. This is lighter. So I'm going to get to my palette knife and pull out a good chunk of white. Put it on here. This is dry. And I need to gray it down. This time I might as well make it easy on myself, go into the black. A little blue one in my palette knife, I guess. I don't know if this long type of video is of any value to you. It's the first time I've really taken my time with something. Let me know, because I don't want to waste your time or pressure myself by making these if they're not helpful. Of course, you can always fast forward. All right, so that's let's just start building up some feathers here. Growing, the pattern is down, and they kind of go like this in this direction. And they flip up there, so just starting with short little choppy strokes, kind of the side of the paint, the flat brush. He's actually got like a little bib shape there. Then it gets a little darker. be putting several more layers on, so don't be alarmed at the grayness of this. And now I'll go with the light gray here. Cover up your lines. You can do that a little later too, but okay. Just wiping my brush out, not cleaning it, and I'm going to go into the lighter color I just used there. I wonder if it's dry enough. It's still pretty wet. Well, maybe while that dries, I would be wise to move on to a different area. Oh, how about his feet? Let's give him some feet. Okay, the one part of his foot that's showing is very much a gray, feathery area, kind of dark. Just gonna kind of tap that in, model in. I have some gray and some white and some black on there. And really, that's all that's needed there. And then their legs are black. Can't really see his legs. Just going to suggest his feet here. You know, we don't want a lot of attention drawn. Now I can see where I need to connect it. You know, the main part of the bird we want to see is his face and his head. So we don't want to put too much detail into these other parts, the tail and the feet, but they are necessary. Okay, he's got another one here. I think that's sufficient for that one. We might hit it with a little bit of gray, just to tone them down a little bit, add a little dimension to them. Okay. And now that feels dry. I'm going to use a palette knife and mix up some white You know what? I need to check the time here. 20 minutes. That's okay. I think I'm about done. Be able to finish this up. Maybe I can't go over 30 minutes. That could have been the problem last night. So I have 10 minutes. More white. So I'm using the chisel edge of the brush to put in these choppy little feathery strokes. And actually, what I should do, see, I'm figuring this out as I go. I should start down here and then overlap, overlap, overlap. So let me do that, and it'll be fun to see the light colors as well. Okay, I'm going to go a little darker, but lighter than what's behind it. Notice the direction I'm stroking out kind of curves up like that. And this kind of looks like it goes down. It's difficult to tell from this reference photo. It's a good one, but the quality of the print I made is not that good. This part is not as light as this, but it's darker than that. I mean, lighter than that, so maybe this color will be okay. Let's see. I'll lighten up this one area here a little bit. Okay, folks, we're almost there. I'm going to take, well, I'm going to use the hair dryer. I'm going to pause, dry this, and then come back and finish it. You just can't go too wet on wet. Okay, it's dry. Now, lastly, I'm going to take some straight white. I'm going to add some water, make it kind of inky consistency. I have a liner brush now. I forgot to bring that out earlier, but this is when I need it for these final little little things. I want to make these feathers flip up like they do in the kind of flick. Give them real kind of crisscross. Don't make them just all the same direction. Length, vary that. And a few down here by his over his feet. And there's some here, but you're not really seeing them over the white background. You may have to apply that a few times. But don't get carried away with it. I kind of did there. All right, now straight white. I'm going to bump up anywhere I see where it's really white, like right here. That'll add to the roundness of his belly. We have the highlight there. Looks like over here. It's a little lighter right under his that dark area. Not sure I have this even as light as I want it, but it's not bad. Okay. Yeah, that just got lost. Just making up marks. Okay. Well, I think I'll probably keep messing with it, but I think I'm going to stop the video now. I want to work on the branches a little bit more, just to define them a little bit more. Maybe add some little buds like they've got here, and maybe even some of these little seed pod things. I don't know. But the focal point, of course, is the bird's head, I would say. So the rest should kind of dissipate in detail and interest. So there he is. And there's our reference photo. It's not bad. I think it's kind of a sweet little piece. I hope you learned something from that, gained something from it. It's just really a matter of painting what you see. Just take your time with it and dab on color. I mean, that's pretty much what I did here. Shapes and color. Okay, my friends. Thank you. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye now.